Welcome to Chapter 3 of the Guide to Short-Term Rental Management. In the previous chapter, we focused on the steps of building the foundational structure of your property management business, from legal and financial frameworks to defining the services and contracts. Now, with that essential groundwork laid, we move into one of the most exciting and hands-on phases, onboarding new properties. This process is where your expertise begins to directly impact an owner's asset. A smooth, thorough, and professional onboarding experience not only sets the stage for a successful rental, but also reinforces the owner's decision to partner with you. It is about transforming a property into a market-ready, guest-pleasing, and revenue-generating short-term rental. The journey of onboarding a new property into your portfolio begins with two interconnected steps: conducting a comprehensive property assessment and holding an in-depth owner interview. These initial activities provide the information needed to determine a property's suitability for the short-term rental market, understand the owner's objectives, and lay the groundwork for a tailored management strategy. A meticulous property assessment is far more than a quick walkthrough. Its purpose is multifaceted: to evaluate the property's current condition and its potential as a short-term rental, to identify any necessary repairs, upgrades, or compliance issues, and to gather the details needed for accurate revenue projections and operational planning. When conducting an assessment, you will want to examine several key areas. Location plays an important role in the short-term rental market. Consider its proximity to attractions, amenities, transport links, and any potential noise or neighborhood concerns. The size and layout of the property will dictate its maximum occupancy and suitability for different guest types, such as families, couples, or business travelers. You should evaluate the physical condition, noting any deferred maintenance, signs of wear and tear, or areas needing immediate repair, from the roof to the foundation, plumbing to electrical systems. Safety features are an important part of any short-term rental setup. Check for functional smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, fire extinguishers, secure locks, and any potential hazards like uneven flooring or unsafe railings. Document all existing amenities and furnishings to understand what can be utilized and what needs to be added or replaced. Assess the property's current compliance with local short-term rental regulations, including zoning laws, health and safety codes, and specific short-term rental permit requirements. This might involve checking things like egress windows in bedrooms or specific sanitation standards. Using a systematic checklist during the assessment, often tailored to your company's standards and local requirements, ensures consistency and that nothing is overlooked. Thorough photographic and potentially video documentation during this phase is also essential for your records and for discussions with the owner. Concurrent with the physical assessment, or shortly thereafter, an owner interview is equally important. This is your opportunity to understand the owner's goals, expectations, and any specific nuances related to their property. The interview helps build rapport and ensures your management approach aligns with their vision, where feasible. Key questions to explore during this conversation include their financial goals for the property. Are they seeking to maximize revenue aggressively, or are they more focused on covering costs while using the property themselves periodically? What is their desired level of involvement in the management process? Some owners want to be completely hands-off, while others prefer regular updates and input on certain decisions. Inquire about any past rental experiences they have had, either as a short-term rental or long-term rental, as this can provide insights into their previous successes or frustrations. It is important to ask about any specific rules or restrictions they wish to implement for their property, beyond standard house rules, provided these are reasonable and legally enforceable. Understanding their concerns, perhaps about potential damage, neighbor complaints, or regulatory changes, allows you to address these proactively. Also, find out if there are any existing vendor relationships they wish to maintain, such as a preferred plumber or gardener, and how those might integrate with your operational procedures. Finally, gauge their attitude towards potential investment in upgrades or improvements that you might recommend based on your property assessment. This will inform your setup strategy. The owner interview is a foundational conversation for a successful long-term partnership. Once an owner is on board and you are moving forward with managing their property, one of the most meticulous but essential tasks during onboarding is creating comprehensive inventory documentation and establishing clear damage protocols. These elements help protect the owner's assets, support proper handling of security deposits, assist with insurance claims, promote transparency, and enable smooth turnovers between guests. Inventory documentation involves creating a detailed record of items within the property that belong to the owner and will be available for guest use. This is not just about the big-ticket items like furniture and appliances. It extends to linens, towels, kitchenware, every plate, glass, and piece of cutlery, electronics, artwork, decorative items, and even outdoor furnishings. The reasons for such detail are manifold. It forms the basis for any claims against a guest security deposit if items are missing or damaged beyond normal wear and tear. In the unfortunate event of significant damage requiring an insurance claim, such as due to fire or extensive guest-caused damage, a detailed inventory is invaluable. It provides transparency for the owner, showing them what is being managed and accounted for. For your operational team, it provides a checklist for cleaners and inspectors during turnovers to ensure everything is present and in its correct place. There are several methods for effective inventory documentation. Detailed written checklists, room by room, are fundamental. These should be supplemented with extensive, high-quality photography of each room and important items. Video walkthroughs, perhaps narrated to point out specific items or their condition, can be even more compelling. Many property management software solutions now offer inventory management modules that allow you to digitally store these lists and associated media. Regardless of the method, the inventory should be created before the first guest arrives and reviewed or updated periodically, at least annually, or when significant changes are made to the property's contents. Both you and the owner should sign off on the initial inventory list for mutual agreement. Alongside a detailed inventory, you must establish and communicate clear damage protocols before any incidents occur. This proactive approach helps manage expectations for both owners and guests. A key first step is to clearly define the difference between normal wear and tear, such as minor scuffs on walls or slight fading of fabric over time, and actual damage, such as a broken lamp, a large stain on a carpet, or a hole in the wall. Normal wear and tear is typically the owner's responsibility as a cost of doing business, while actual damage caused by a guest's negligence or misconduct should be chargeable. Your protocols should outline the process for documenting any damage found after a guest's stay. This usually involves immediate photographic evidence, an incident report detailing what happened, if known, and noting when it was discovered. This documentation can be important if you need to file a claim against a security deposit or through a booking platform's resolution center. The handling of security deposits is another important component. Be aware of and strictly adhere to local and state regulations regarding the collection, holding, and return of security deposits, including timelines for returning undisputed amounts and procedures for making claims. When damage occurs, your protocol should detail how you will communicate with the guest about the issue, providing them with the evidence and an estimate for repair or replacement. Professional and factual communication is key, even in contentious situations. Simultaneously, you need to communicate with the property owner about the damage, the steps being taken to resolve it, and any financial implications. Finally, consider the role of insurance. The owner's property insurance may cover certain types of significant damage, and some booking platforms offer limited damage protection for hosts. Guests might also carry their own travel insurance that could cover accidental damage. Understanding these layers of potential coverage is part of a comprehensive damage protocol strategy. With the property assessed and inventory systems being established, the next phase of onboarding often involves the physical setup or refinement of the property to ensure it is perfectly equipped and appealing for short-term rental guests. Utilizing detailed setup checklists is essential here to ensure consistency, quality, and completeness for every property you manage. If you manage multiple properties, these checklists also help maintain your brand standards. They streamline the setup process, prevent oversight, and ensure the property is truly guest-ready. These checklists will typically cover three main categories: furnishings, technology, and décor, as well as consumables and amenities. When it comes to furnishings, the guiding principles should be durability, comfort, and a style appropriate for your target guest demographic and the property's price point. Every room needs essential furniture: comfortable beds with good quality mattresses and protectors in bedrooms, adequate and comfortable seating in living areas, and appropriate dining furniture for the maximum stated occupancy. Think about the quantity of items. For example, ensure there is enough seating in the lounge and enough place settings in the kitchen for the number of guests the property accommodates. High-quality linens and towels are a must. Ensure you have enough sets for efficient turnovers, typically 3 sets per bed or guest, 1 in use, 1 in laundry, and 1 in storage. The kitchenware should be comprehensive enough for guests who wish to prepare full meals. This includes pots, pans, cooking utensils, a coffee maker, toaster, kettle, microwave, and a full set of crockery, cutlery, and glassware. In today's connected world, technology is no longer a luxury in short-term rentals. It is an expectation. Reliable, high-speed Wi-Fi is recommended. Provide clear instructions for guests on how to connect. A smart TV with access to popular streaming services is standard. Consider installing a smart lock or keyless entry system for guest convenience, enhanced security, and easier management of access. No lost keys. Noise monitoring devices can be valuable for preventing parties and disturbances in compliance with privacy laws. They monitor decibel levels, not conversations. This is especially useful in apartment buildings or sensitive neighborhoods. Easy-to-use or smart thermostats contribute to guest comfort and can help manage energy costs. Increasingly, managers are providing access to a guest app or digital guidebook, which contains property information, local recommendations, and communication tools, further enhancing the tech-forward guest experience. The decor plays a significant role in making a property marketable and creating a welcoming atmosphere. The goal is to create an appealing aesthetic that photographs well and resonates with your target guests. It is often best to balance a sense of style with a degree of neutrality to appeal to a broad audience. Incorporating tasteful local touches can add character and a sense of place, but avoid overly personal or niche decor. Good lighting, a mix of ambient, task, and accent lighting, can transform a space. Aim to minimize clutter. Less is often more in a short-term rental, making spaces feel larger and cleaner, and reducing the risk of items getting lost or broken. Ensure that decorative items are not easily damaged or so valuable that their loss would be a significant issue. Finally, your setup checklist should include consumables and amenities. This means providing starter supplies of essential toiletries such as soap, shampoo, and toilet paper, coffee, tea, sugar, basic cleaning supplies, and dishwasher or laundry detergent. Some managers also include a small welcome basket with local treats or a bottle of wine as a nice touch, though this depends on your service level and pricing. Having a detailed checklist ensures that every property you onboard is consistently stocked and presented to the highest standard, ready to impress the first guests and all who follow. The onboarding phase is a period of significant activity and often considerable investment from the property owner, especially if upgrades or substantial furnishing is required. It is also a time when the owner's excitement is high, but so too can be their anxiety. Therefore, proactively managing owner expectations and maintaining excellent communication practices throughout this setup period is paramount to building trust and ensuring a smooth transition. Begin by reiterating expectations that were initially discussed and outlined in your management agreement and service level agreement. Specifically, review these documents in the context of the onboarding process itself. Clarify anticipated timelines for each stage of setup, any costs that will be borne by the owner, such as for new furniture, repairs, deep cleaning, or initial supply stock, and delineate the manager's role versus the owner's role during this phase. For example, will you be making all purchasing decisions within an agreed budget, or will the owner prefer to be more involved in selecting items? Establish a clear communication plan specifically for the onboarding period. Inform the owner how and when you will provide updates on progress. Will it be through weekly email summaries, phone calls for key decisions, or updates via an owner portal? Agree on their preferred communication methods and the expected frequency of contact. It is also helpful to designate a single point of contact within your company for the owner during this phase to ensure clarity and consistency. Managing their excitement is positive, but it is equally important to manage any anxiety by being transparent and responsive. Outline the process for owner approvals if these are needed. For instance, if significant repairs are identified during the assessment, or if new furniture exceeding a certain budget is required, how will you seek and obtain owner approval before proceeding? Having a clear, efficient approval process prevents delays and misunderstandings. Above all, practice transparency throughout the onboarding process. If challenges arise, perhaps a delay in furniture delivery, a contractor not showing up, or an unexpected repair needed, communicate this to the owner promptly and honestly. Explain the issue, what steps you are taking to address it, and any impact it might have on the timeline. Owners are generally understanding if they are kept informed. It is a lack of communication that often leads to frustration. Regular, honest updates, even if there is not major news to report, can reassure the owner that their property is in good hands and that progress is being made. The culmination of the onboarding process is the official launch of the property onto the short-term rental market. To reach this point smoothly, you need to develop realistic launch timelines and, if applicable, manage clear handoff procedures if you are taking over a property that was previously self-managed or managed by another company. Developing a realistic launch timeline involves breaking down the entire onboarding process into distinct phases and estimating the time required for each. These phases typically include the initial property assessment and owner agreement, any necessary repairs or renovations, the setup phase including furnishing, tech installation and decor, professional photography and videography, detailed listing creation for all chosen platforms, and final pre-launch checks. It is crucial to factor in potential delays such as vendor availability, shipping times for furniture or supplies, or unexpected issues that might arise during setup. Work backward from a desired go-live date or forward from the contract signing to establish a timeline that is ambitious yet achievable. Share this timeline with the owner to manage their expectations. As you approach the launch date, a series of pre-launch activities must be completed. Professional photography and videography are non-negotiable in today's visually driven market. These images are the first thing potential guests will see and are a primary factor in their booking decisions. Simultaneously, you will be crafting compelling and accurate listing descriptions that highlight the property's unique selling points and amenities, optimized for each booking platform. You will also need to set the initial pricing strategy and calendar availability. Before the first guest even thinks about booking, it is vital to test all technology and appliances, including Wi-Fi, smart locks, TVs, and kitchen appliances, to ensure everything is functioning perfectly. A final deep clean and staging of the property will ensure it matches the professional photos and is immaculate for the first arrivals. If you are taking over a property from an owner who is self-managing or from a previous property manager, clear handoff procedures are essential to ensure a seamless transition. This involves the organized transfer of all relevant information and physical items. This includes all sets of keys, access codes, and alarm information. You will need details of any existing future reservations that need to be honored, along with guest contact information and payment status. Obtain a list of preferred or existing vendor contacts if the owner wishes for continuity, though you may integrate them into your own network. Clarify the transfer or ongoing management of utility accounts. Who is responsible for paying which bills going forward? Gather any warranties for appliances or systems within the property, and any historical data on past rental performance, guest feedback, or maintenance issues, as this can be invaluable for your future management strategy. Finally, there is often an internal handoff within your own property management company. Once the property is fully onboarded and ready to launch, ensure that your operations team, including your cleaning crews, maintenance personnel, and any staff involved in guest communication, has all the necessary information about the new property. This includes access details, specific cleaning checklists, locations of key utilities like water shutoff valves, and any unique characteristics or owner preferences they need to be aware of. The go-live moment, when you activate the listings and the property is officially available for bookings, is an exciting milestone. Conduct one last walkthrough and systems check. Then, monitor the first few inquiries and bookings very closely to ensure your systems are working correctly and to address any immediate guest needs or unforeseen teething issues promptly. A successful launch built on meticulous onboarding paves the way for a profitable and well-managed short-term rental. This completes Chapter 3. We have navigated the essential steps of bringing a new property into your management portfolio, from initial assessments and owner discussions through to inventory, setup, and finally, the launch. Next, in Chapter 4, we will delve into one of the most critical ongoing operational aspects: housekeeping systems and staff management.